Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. This webinar will start momentarily. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us again. We're going to go ahead and get started with our webinar today. Welcome to our study tip using your CFP Board practice exam webinar. My name is Amanda Zapata and I'm a marketing manager here at CFP Board. Taking the CFP Board practice exam is the closest thing to taking the actual CFP exam and a great tool to add to your study plan. This webinar will review how to get the most out of your free practice exam that comes with your exam registration, including how to access it, what it looks like, how to use it, and what information you'll receive when you complete it. After our presentation, we'll also briefly review other exam preparation resources available from CFP Board. Then we'll have some time for a brief Q&A if you have any questions about this resource. At any point as well throughout the presentation, please feel free to drop in your questions in the Q&A, and myself or my colleague Cynthia will answer those. CFP Board offers 2 practice exams that you can use as part of your preparation. One practice exam is free with your exam registration. So when you went to register for the exam, you could select the complimentary practice exam, and you can access it after you complete your registration in your online account. The practice exams are the closest replica to the CFP exam. Our practice exams are hosted on Prometric, so it's the exact same software that's utilized on exam day, and is really going to give you the opportunity to put yourself in the mindset and shoes of being on the or at the exam. While taking the practice exam, you'll notice a clock set for 3 hours per session, 6 hours total. So this is the same amount of time that is allotted for the 170 questions on the real exam. You'll have a 24-hour access period to complete your practice exam once you start it. So once you start it, you can access and return to the practice exam as often as you like during that 24-hour access period. And you'll have access to view the questions, review the rationale, showing the correct responses. You are able to leave and return. However, like I mentioned, you only have 24 hours once you launch your practice exam to utilize this tool. I'll show you how to access this and what it's going to look like in your account here in a minute. Many questions on our practice exams have appeared in previous exams or developed new for the practice exam and are now retired for inclusion, or like I said, are developed new for use in this practice exam tool. They represent the full range of topic areas on the current CFP exam. And upon completion of the practice exam, you'll receive a diagnostic results report. And the result report will provide your performance relative to the principal knowledge domains and can be a useful tool by identifying knowledge gaps to better target your studying more effectively. Now I'll walk you through how to access this resource and what to expect when you start your practice exam. So to access your practice exam, you'll log into your CFP Board account at cfp.net/login. Once you are logged in, you'll click on the link to take you your practice exam, which you should see at the top of your account here in the first screenshot where it says next step, prepare for the exam. If you don't see that at the top of your account, you can go to the exam section of your account and just scroll down. There's a prepare section, so you'll see a link to actually click on that says access your practice exam here in the second screenshot. Once you get to your practice exam portal, you will see your practice exam history and any active practice exams you have to take. So you can see here in this screenshot, there's a Get Practice Test button that's active. So you have not yet, in this instance, this individual has not yet started their practice exam. We can see that it's active, it hasn't expired yet, and there's a Get Practice Test button that's available. So when you are ready to take your practice exam, you'll click on that Get Practice Test button. However, please note that once you click on this button, you only have 24 hours to complete your practice exam. So again, as soon as you click on this button, your 24-hour timer will start. So please do not click this button until you're ready. We can't reset that 24-hour timer. This shows what it looks like after you click the Get Practice Test button. So as mentioned before, you can leave and come back to the practice exam within the 24 hours, and your account will track and tell you the complete by date and time before your practice exam expires. So again, you can see here, right, your status is now updated. You have a complete by expiration date and time, and then a launch now button. So if you've exited the Prometric practice exam uh, resource, you can just come back to this same screen and just click launch now, and it'll bring you back into the practice exam. Once your practice exam expires, you cannot go back to it, and we cannot reset it. Once you complete your practice exam, the status will change to completed, and you'll have your diagnostic results report. Again, you won't be able to go back into your practice exam at that point. Okay, so you've clicked the Get Practiced Exam or Launch Now button. Once you launch your practice exam, you will be asked to confirm your name details and then accept the terms of taking the practice exam. After you confirm your name details and accept the agreement, you'll see a welcome screen and go through a quick tutorial on how to use the software. And so again, it'll just reiterate how many sections there are, subsections, questions. The tutorial will go through how to mark questions for review, the features that you're going to see, strike through, highlight. All of that will be part of the tutorial. Again, just to make sure you're totally comfortable with what to expect on the exam software. This is an example of a practice question and features that you can see. So you can see here at the top, there's the timer. You'll see the options to select question resources, such as formulas, tax tables, solutions, and the built-in calculator. So again, this is going to emulate what you would see on exam day as part of the actual exam software. So again, the question level resources are available per question. And what happens is when you click on them, so this is an example of clicking on the solution resource. So if you click on the solution, if you want to review the solutions to a question, you have to do it question by question. And what will happen is it'll pop up a PDF viewer next to the question so you can see the solution and the question side by side. The practice exam will not automatically show you the solutions. And so once you complete each subsection, you cannot go back to review the questions and solutions. And just also, once you finish the practice exam completely, you cannot go back to review the questions and solutions. So if you do want to review the solutions, you want to understand the rationales, you will have to do that question by question, and definitely do it before you leave the subsections of the exam. This is what it looks like when you open one of the other question level resources. So this is an example of opening the formula document. A pop-out screen appears with that resource and the question is still displayed. So note that on exam day, you will not receive paper copies of these resources. So it's a good idea to practice using them on screen. This is an example of a case study. So you can see at the top, it refers to how many questions are associated with the scenario. So again, you will clearly be given the opportunity to understand, okay, now I'm at a case study. This is how many questions are, I'm going to see related to this case. And what happens on this next screen here, when you are in a case study, you can see an additional question level resources to bring back up the case while you're going question by question that is associated with this case study. So again, you see here the case studies on the left-hand side when you pull it up if you want to review that as you're going through the questions. But you can definitely bring up the scenario again to read through it. The practice exam mirrors the same format as the real exam. So you're going to see the same setup related to subsections, 43 questions in subsection 1A, 42 questions in subsection 1B, 43 questions in subsection 2A, 42 questions in subsection 2B. So once you submit your questions for the first subsection or for each subsection, you cannot go back to those questions. This also means that you cannot go back to review the solutions for those sets of questions. So again, you want to see the solutions and rationales, make sure you review them before you move on to your next subsection. Again, this is a really great resource to put yourself in the mindset for taking the exam and do a full mock practice. You'll see that after you press continue to move past a subsection, that you'll get a prompt letting you know if you have unanswered questions or questions that you have flagged, confirming that you want to continue or give you the opportunity to go back to review. So you will have plenty of chances to say, do you really want to move on before you can no longer see those sets of questions? Again, you'll get plenty of warnings saying, do you really want to finish, right? Do you really want to finish this subsection? You'll also have the option to take an unscheduled break. This is the same prompt that you would get at taking the actual exam. If you want to keep moving on, again, you're going to get one last warning that you are leaving the subsection, and each subsection will give you the same warnings. So you're finishing this subsection, you're moving on to your next one. And so you'll just confirm that you want to do that. When you get to the end of subsection 1B, so when you get to the halfway point, then you will start your scheduled 40-minute break. If you click resume test, your test will resume and the timer will also resume. So on the practice exam, if you're taking this as putting yourself on in a true testing practice, take the 40-minute break or what you presume you will take on exam day, click resume test when you're ready to move on to the second half of the exam. If on the real exam you click resume test and you're not ready, you cannot go back and pause it again. So just be very careful about that on your actual test day. Just like on the real exam, you will have survey questions at the end to answer before your results report is provided. So the practice exam is really setting you up again to see exactly what you're going to experience on exam day. And to finish the test, you'll click Finish Test in the top right corner. You'll actually see this button on all screens, but only click it when you are ready to be done with the practice exam. You cannot go back to the practice exam after you click this button. So again, remember to click Finish Test when you are completely done so you can see your practice exam marked as completed in your account and ensures you get your results report. Your diagnostic results report will be emailed to you shortly after clicking the Finish Test button. Upon completion of your practice exam, you'll receive this diagnostic results report, and it will show you where you stand on each principal knowledge domain. So this can help you prioritize what content to spend more time on and give you a holistic view of your strengths and weaknesses. I definitely recommend using this practice exam early or now to get the most out of this report in order to target your studying effectively. Now we'll quickly review a couple other CFP board exam prep resources that can help you as you think about your study plan and going into exam day. You can also find all of these resources at cfp.net/exam resources. So this next resource is our candidate exam toolkit. This resource really focuses on helping you study for the exam and outlines best practices for a successful exam prep process. It's comprised of two sections. So the first is charting your path to CFP certification. The second section is about developing a testing strategy. So it discusses the topic areas of the CFP exam and suggests methods of study that play to the strengths of different learning styles. So this toolkit is all about really, developing that testing strategy, helping you think about how to put together your study plan. While the preparation toolkit focuses on helping you study for the exam, our candidate handbook focuses more on what to expect on exam day. So you can think of our candidate handbook as your guide to the CFP exam day process, where you'll find information on what to expect on exam day, registration, and scheduling deadlines, and other related policy. So this includes registration, exam preparation, what to expect on exam day, what to expect after the exam, the principal knowledge domains, and the Mentee Success Toolkit. And you can review all of these resources at cfp.net/exam resources. So we do have some time for Q&A. I see there are some questions, so I'll read through them now. You can also email questions at any time to Get Certified 2023 at cfpboard.org, and we're also happy to help you. One of the questions that we have is the percentage of topics the same as the real exam? And the answer is yes. So it is the content coverage of the principal knowledge domains is the same on the practice exam. One of the questions, is there a way to go through the tutorial without launching the exam? Unfortunately, the answer is no. Once you launch in order to get to the tutorial, you do have to launch your practice exam. So, I would only launch it when you are ready to use it. Another question, what is the value of using the built-in calculator over our own calculator? There is none. It's just a basic function calculator. So, it's just available for you if you need it. But you are welcome to use, of course, your own calculator. Another question is, what would you click to see the solution for each question you answer? There was a question level resource that said solution, so you would just click on that button that says solution. It's in between the question prompt and the multiple choice answers. I have another question. When would be the best time to take the practice exam before the exam? I think that's going to differ for a lot of individuals. Honestly, I think taking it early to determine strengths and weaknesses is very helpful. But, there are a lot of individuals as well who take it towards the end of their prep to really get the test drive of the exam, right? To help relieve the stress or the unanticipated stress of knowing what you're going to see. Again, it's really going to put yourself in the mindset of, okay, this is the software I'm going to experience. This is what it's going to look like. So when you get to the Prometric site and you're sitting down, you really get the opportunity to say, oh, okay, I've already seen this. So again, I think it's advantageous, in terms of seeing strengths and weaknesses to help direct your studying. But again, another huge advantage is being able to see the software that you'll see on exam day, and just feeling comfortable with that. I've heard from a lot of candidates that it just helps relieve that uncertainty and the stress of that uncertainty of what to expect. So it's really a mock practice exam tool to be able to use. I'd also join our candidate forum, our online candidate community. There are a lot of individuals talking about how they use the practice exam and when they use the practice exam right now. So it might be very helpful to also hear from your peers. I have another question about, if we finish the section prior to the 40-minute break early, can we let the timer expire, adding the time into our 40-minute break? And the answer is no. So every set of time is individual. So your first 3 hours to do the first 2 subsections is 3 hours. If you finish early, no additional time is going to be added to your break or to the next section after that. So again, you have 3 hours to do your first 2 subsections. You get a 40-minute break. If you finish your 40-minute break early, you've just finished it early. No additional time is given anywhere else. And then you get another 3 hours. So they're all separate. I have a question on, would we be provided scratch paper? Not on the practice exam. On exam day, yes. But if you want to, give yourself a booklet of practice scratch paper to practice with, you can do that. I believe the exams team has said that you get a booklet of 4 sheets of paper. So if you wanted to give yourself 4 sheets of paper to use as you're practicing, that might be a good idea. And again, for scratch paper on the practice exam, obviously, yes, you can use that. And scratch paper and pencil are allowed on exam day when you're actually taking the exam. We have another question about the second practice exam that CFP offers. Is it the same as the free one? It's the same in terms of the software, but the set of questions is different. So we have 2 practice exams with unique sets of questions. Another question related to results that you get at the end of the practice exam. Do you receive a pass or fail? Unfortunately, no. It's a tool to help you guide you in terms of strengths and weaknesses. We do not give you a pass or fail on the practice exam. A couple of questions about exam day experience in terms of calculators and extra batteries. Just in case this is helpful for everybody, you can take multiple calculators that are already approved by CFP Board into the exam, and you can take extra batteries into the exam as well. Batteries just have to be removed from their packaging. Another question about the formulas. On the real exam, will the formulas be linked the same way? Yes, you will see the PDF resource for formulas and tax tables the same way. A question on reviewing solutions. So if you review the solutions, does the timer stop? The answer is no, the timer will just keep going. A question on does the timer stop between sections? Again, the answer is no. The only time the timer is going to stop is at that scheduled 40-minute break. So on the practice exam and on the real exam, the timer is not going to stop until you get to that 40-minute break. Um, there's a question about how to see there's 2 different versions of the clock at the top of the practice exam where you can see the total time remaining for the exam versus the section time, and you can just click on that to change the view of the of the timer. And so if you attended our What to Expect webinar a few weeks ago, you'll have seen that there are 2 options for the clock. One is to see the total exam time, which includes the 5 minutes at the end for the survey. So if you don't want to see that and you want to see just the 3-hour section that you're in, you can just toggle that, click it, and it should toggle for you. There's another question about the diagnostic result report, including a question by question breakdown, or is it just at the topic level? The result report for the practice exam is only going to give it to you at the principal knowledge domain level. It does not show you question by question. Another question, if you need to leave, how do you log out so that you don't lose anything? Don't click finish practice exam because that will completely end your practice exam. You can just close the practice exam and then go back into your account and launch it again. We have a question is this close to remote testing as well? Yes, the remote testing software is the same. Another question about once we click finish, will we be able to go back to see solutions and learn from our mistakes? The answer is no. You cannot go back to review the questions and solutions after you've completed the practice exam. The only thing that you'll get is the results report. A question about when you are done with each question, does it indicate whether you answered it correctly or not? Only if you click on to see the solution, but it's not automatically going to tell you that. There's a couple of questions on the solution resource. If you want to see the solutions associated with each question, you have to actively click on the solution button to see the solution. The practice exam is not going to tell you question by question that a question was right or a question was wrong. It's going to it's again, the tool is the opportunity to give yourself a mock exam experience. And so just like on the real exam, you're not going to see if each question is right or wrong. So if you want to, on the practice exam, if you want to actively see if a question is right or wrong or see what the solution and why, the rationale, then you have to click on that button to see that. I hope that helps clarify. We have a few questions related to the actual exam day experience. What I will do is I will take all of those questions and I'll pass them along to our exams team so that way we can get those answered. Um, I am going through and seeing if we have any other questions that we can answer before the time is out here. If there are a couple questions on expired practice exams and maybe from postponing an exam or it just looks expired in your account for some reason, if that's the case, just send us an email and we can look into that for you. And typically we're able to work with you on making sure you have an active practice exam, especially if you are postponed from a previous exam. We should be able to help you out there. But just send us an email. You can either send it to the email that you see on screen, or you can send it to examinations@cfpboard.org. But either way, we can definitely make sure that you have your active practice exam available to you. I think that we've answered all the questions related to the practice exam right now. If there is anything that I've missed, please feel free to email the email address that you see on screen here, and we can address those for you. And again, I will take a look at all of the questions and see if there's anything that I missed and reach out to those individuals and then pass any questions on to our exams team for questions more related to the actual exam day experience, just to make sure that I have all of that correct. I would like to thank everybody for attending. I hope this was helpful to get a snapshot of the practice exam and what to expect. And I hope you all use your practice exam. And if you have any questions, please let us know. We are happy to help and wish you the best on your exam prep. Thanks so much. Have a great day.